Next on Local News 8 at 10, we are in full swing of the avalanche season. Some tips for you before heading into the backcountry.
And we take a look at a long-standing tradition that takes place on Fridays at the State House.
Plus, fog rolling into the upper valley. We've been seeing some drizzle and some flurries already tonight, but warmer temperatures on the way for tomorrow. Local News 8 at 10 starts right now.
You're watching Local News 8 at 10. Local people, local news.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. You know, research shows that avalanche deaths are most common in January and February.
Local News 8 reporter Max Cohen takes us to a class that wants to lower those numbers. He has our closer look tonight.
You know, generally, you're not going to get caught in an avalanche just because you happen to be standing there and it occurs. You're the trigger.
Each year, Idaho Parks and Rec holds an avalanche awareness class to inform the public about the dangers of avalanches and ways to prevent them. Nationwide, skiers are most frequently killed by avalanches, but it's a different story in Idaho.
It's kind of a staggering statistic that 63% of the fatalities would be reduced if only one person was on the hill at a time.
During each session, Lowe informs the class about proper ways to travel.
We're going to avoid any place where there's these rocky outcroppings, like I said. You're going to try to get around, get up on top.
How to read avalanche conditions.
Avoid all avalanche terrain. Likelihood of avalanches, natural and human triggered avalanches certain.
And the equipment they should have with them, a beacon, probe, and shovel. But there's no legal requirement to carry them.
And often people won't.
Which makes it more difficult to find people who are trapped during the target 15-minute window right after the slide occurs.
Less than 15 minutes, they have a lot greater chance to survive. Anything after that, obviously, exponentially less.
In any case, Lowe says you should keep an eye open for rocky outcroppings, areas with lots of blown snow, and anywhere that appears to have had a previous avalanche.
If you see an avalanche that has occurred and there are similar slopes nearby, stay off of them.
Reporting in Pocatello, I'm Max Cohen.
Tonight's class at the BLM office was only part one. There will be a companion rescue session tomorrow morning at Crystal Summit.
It's been pretty foggy and cloudy, especially for much of the day in the upper valley locations. You go a little bit south into Bingham, Bannock County, not as foggy, but definitely bringing in also, a very soupy outlook right now as we take a live look here from the Rexburg First Alert Skycam. This is the camera that's on top of the water tower, and you can't even make out the city lights there of Rexburg. Right now we have the cloud cover, we have the drizzle. We're also getting a few flurries in that fog. 31 degrees at the Rexburg Airport, no wind. That's allowing that fog to really pool up, but a completely different picture from the Pocatello Farm Bureau Skycam. It's still cloudy overhead, but not as foggy at all. As you can see here, you can see the nice moving traffic on I-15. You can see all the city lights. 32 right now in the Gate City. We do expect to see some fog trying to redevelop also in the lower valley later tonight, but generally light winds, dropping temperatures, allowing for some of that fog and flurries and those drizzles and hits of drizzle out there. So it's going to be a little bit slippery out there tonight. We have 31 in Blackfoot, 28 in Idaho Falls, 43 in Boise with 22 in Jackson. Wind speeds right now staying light. That's allowing that low cloud cover and fog to pool up outside. For tonight, we will have lows dipping back into the 20s and 30s. Warmer temperatures tomorrow. Stormy weather on Sunday. Yeah, it's a pretty good system coming in here for the back half of the weekend. We'll talk more about that in just a bit. For now, I'll send it over to Carol.
Thank you. Power County Sheriff Jim Jeffries announced today that he will not seek re-election in 2021. He plans to retire. The grandson of Power County's very first sheriff, Jeffries began working for the county back in 1982 and then was elected sheriff in 2004. He spent much of his career working with crime victims and was awarded by the governor for his efforts in 1996.
I think you need to be like the Canadian goose, and you just need to know when it's time to go. So I've had a great experience here, and I love my job. I think it's just my time.
Jeffries will serve out the remainder of his term, and then he plans to spend time woodworking and enjoying his retirement.
The Bureau of Land Management says it will be hosting a wild horse adoption event this weekend. The competitive bid adoption will be for about 70 wild horses rounded up last year at the Chalice Herd Management Area. These horses are made available through the Adoption Incentive Program, which allows qualified adopters to receive $500 within 60 days of the initial adoption date. The event will take place at the Wild Horse Corrals south of Chalice tomorrow at 9 a.m. There is a $25 adoption fee for untrained animals. For more information, call 866-468-7826.
After years of waiting, it is finally open. The historic Bonneville Hotel in downtown Idaho Falls is now the Bonneville Apartments. There are 35 new and affordable apartments and a Section 4 retail business. The renovation transformed the hotel, which was built back in 1927. There are 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. The housing company developed the Bonneville for about $11.5 million. Income qualifications are required for these affordable apartments. And Airbnb is reporting an economic impact on Idaho. Airbnb says its Idaho host community earned $14.1 million in income last year, serving some 72,000 guests during the 5 biggest weekends of the year. The 2 eastern Idaho counties, Fremont and Teton, were among the top 5 counties in host income. Still ahead, we take a look at a long-standing tradition at the Capitol where lawmakers leave for the weekend. And after years of waiting, the United Kingdom has left the European Union. We will hear some people react to this historic change. Taking a look at your legislative watch now, Idaho State Lands Manager is asking a legislative committee to approve $500,000 for a pilot program, and it would allow specific types of timber to be separated and sold when harvested from state land. Now, currently, all the trees cut from a particular parcel are just included in the auctions. The Department of Lands Director said breaking those sales into specific different types of trees could actually result in more competition and higher bids. The roads, Idaho's roads, they are getting more dangerous. The State Transportation Director, Brian Ness, told state lawmakers this morning there is a rise in distracted drivers and traffic. So legislation that would impose a statewide ban on cell phone use is pending in the Senate. Other distracted driving legislation is also pending in the House. And finally, Friday marks not just the end of another week of the Idaho legislative session, but also the observance of a long-standing tradition at the State House. Scott Logan breaks down why some lawmakers leave the Capitol.
It's Friday, and the State House, the People's House, becomes a ghost town by mid-morning as lawmakers head home early for the weekend. Let's take a look at some of these committee meetings for Friday. Oh, no meeting scheduled, no meeting scheduled, no meeting scheduled, no meeting scheduled. It's a time-honored tradition that lawmakers leave early on Fridays, at least at the beginning of the session. But why is that?
You know, we're a part-time legislature, and people have other lives and other jobs, and so they've got to go home. So like I'm going to go home this weekend, and I'm going to separate the first calf heifers from the second calf heifers, just in preparation for calving seasons.
Do you see it as wasting taxpayers' money and time?
No, I don't see it as a waste, but you know, I think it's a way to recognize that those people have made a significant sacrifice to come here. And you know, in the wintertime, you're better driving in the day than you are at night, and so I think there's some reasons for it.
What's your thinking?
Well, I think for the out-of-town legislators, they want to get to see their constituents. It's an election year. There's a primary in May, of course, and then there's a general election. So,
traveling from North Idaho to Boise.
It's about a 6-hour drive for me. Yeah.
Right. I mean,
But I don't usually leave until 3 or 4 in the afternoon, even when I'm driving. And if I'm catching a flight, it's usually 3 or 4 in the afternoon too.
I don't see it as a waste at all. I think in order to be able to do the work that they have to do, they need a few minutes downtime and with their families and to take care of business needs. And like I said, while they're here in town, and even those that live here in town, it's pretty much a 24/7 availability.
Continuing coverage tonight, a hot issue is resurfacing as we get closer to Super Bowl 54 this weekend. Some Native American tribes across the country are condemning the use of Native American themed clothing and symbols and imagery like those worn by Kansas City Chief fans. For some Native Americans, the Chiefs mascot and the imagery surrounding the team's logo are demeaning and racist. Locally, it's been less than 6 months since Teton High School decided to remove the Redskins mascot. Shoshone-Bannock tribes are following this issue very closely and are among the many tribes who see these kinds of mascots insulting and culturally insensitive.
having our people being portrayed as, you know, everyone wearing chief war bonnets and painting their face. You know, we have meanings behind that to do the tomahawk dance or make fun of, you know, what we hold very dear to our hearts and we cherish about our songs. So it does bother me, and it bothers a lot of other people in Indian country.
Randy L. Teton says it is all about educating the public and creating an open dialogue. She says there are no current plans to remove any high school mascots, but she hopes school faculties and lawmakers will learn more about Native American culture. Still ahead tonight, a community is helping one man who lost his entire family.
Such a tragic story. As we go to break, we'll take a look at your highs and lows from all across the region, and we will be back. Around the world tonight, the United Kingdom has left the European Union. John Lawrence tells us that a long-standing political union that includes more than 24 European countries, it's changed.
The United Kingdom now has its own Independence Day. The country is the first to divorce itself from the European Union, enacting the result of a 2016 referendum.
We will be taking back control of our laws, our money and our borders. And it's a great feeling.
But not everyone is happy about this new era.
Shame on you! Shame on you! We don't have to accept this. We're being robbed of something that is very dear to us. And that's our freedom of movement, our friends, our partners in the European Union. Our biggest trading partner in the European Union is Ireland. It's on our doorstep.
The United Kingdom's membership with the European Union, formerly the European Economic Community, lasted more than 4 decades. But after Prime Minister Boris Johnson's Conservative Party won a majority in the House of Parliament, the breakup became inevitable.
I think Brexit was partly for the UK about having a measure of self-confidence and ambition and a sense of pursuing the UK interest and self-belief.
Despite Friday's Brexit, the UK will still be part of the Single Market and Customs Union until the end of the year.
We are still here, we are still fighting it, we're not going away, and we're going to hold this government to account. They've made a lot of promises to the British people, and now we're going to be here to hold them to those promises.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Moving now to your Washington Watch. The Senate voted today not to allow additional witnesses or documents brought forward in the impeachment hearing of President Trump. The vote was close, 51-49. Utah Republican Senator Mitt Romney voted for more witnesses. Both senators for Idaho, Senator Jim Risch and Mike Crapo, voted against allowing additional witnesses and documents. The next vote, possibly for the president's acquittal, could happen as soon as Wednesday. Around the rest of the nation now, a new case of the coronavirus has been confirmed in the country. The U.S. has also ordered a quarantine of close to 200 Americans. This is the first time in 50 years a quarantine has happened. The government is also banning foreigners coming in from China. Researchers are now saying the virus can be spread by people who have no symptoms, although the Health and Human Services Secretary insists the risk to Americans is low.
Returning to local news now, the Jackson Hole Chamber of Commerce is helping visitors and businesses answer concerns about the coronavirus. The chamber says that the community has an exceptional emergency management team that specializes in communities that are reliant on year-round tourism. No one in the Jackson area has been diagnosed with the coronavirus, but the precautions are being taken because it is an international tourist location. Health agencies advise common preventative actions against the cold and flu. That's what will help.
And now, your first alert weather.
Well, a very interesting forecast for this weekend is taking shape with warmer temperatures tomorrow, and then everything's going to go crashing back down with a cold front. It's a fairly potent cold front that arrives here for Sunday, and that's going to continue into Monday with snow showers, gusty winds, and a big drop coming through for those temperatures. Outside right now in Idaho Falls, yeah, we got the cloud cover overhead. We've been dealing with some fog. We've been getting a few flakes, some freezing drizzle, with temperatures right now just below freezing into the upper 20s at the airport. Feels like 22 outside. outside. We are getting a cold wind out of the north at 6 miles an hour, but not enough wind to start really shaking off this fog and cloud cover. Here is the system that's coming on shore as we speak. It's already putting down some wet weather up around Seattle and Vancouver, and it's got a long cold front stretching off the California coastline. Now what happens is we talk about the warm before the storm. Typically, when you have a cold front like this, you draw up warmer air from the south and the southwest right along the edge of the cold front. It's drawn to the center of low pressure, which is all the way up in British Columbia. Then behind that cold front, see those spotty clouds there? That's cold air. So of course, once the cold front passes through, you begin to change the wind direction out of the north. Then a big drop in the temperatures is expected here as the showers move off to the east. For tomorrow, the showers are going to be targeting Washington State, Oregon, northern Idaho, and northwest Montana, with a lot of this also still in southern Canada. The system will sag further to the southeast as we head into Sunday. That opens the door for some heavier snow showers stretching from the Great Basin all the way through southern Idaho and in through western Wyoming and a bit of northern Utah. The storm really starts to get going here locally Sunday midday to the afternoon, which of course is when many folks are going to be out and about trying to get to their Super Bowl festivities or just trying to get to their local restaurant or bar. So you might be running into some snowy conditions as you're going to and from the Super Bowl activities. Now for tonight, we are stuck with the cloud cover, especially in the mid-to upper Snake River Plain. But by tomorrow, the cloud cover starts to lift. We start to mix in some clearing conditions, and the sun will try to come through here for your Saturday. Off in the distance, we do start to see the showers getting into northern Idaho tomorrow, and about 10 o'clock tomorrow night, the snow will start to get in a little bit closer into salmon, but still really not hitting salmon. We are going to expect to see the snow really start to pick up here in central Idaho tomorrow, Sunday morning, with snow even in Boise on Sunday morning. Then we'll see passing snow and rain showers for Twin Falls, Burley, and the Treasure Valley as we get into Sunday afternoon with a little daytime heating, but we're going to be in the thick of things here. Again, starting around lunch on Sunday, right through the heart of your afternoon, the snow will start to pick up with intensity, and then we'll see some heavier snow bands, of course, getting into the high country. About 8 o'clock on Sunday, the snow will start to head further to the south. We'll have some wraparound snow showers for Monday. Snowfall amounts with this first wave of wet weather looking to pick up about 2 to 4 inches around Idaho Falls and Rexburg. As you head further south, those snowfall amounts do drop off because I'm also looking to mix in a bit of some rain as you head further to the south. Tomorrow, temperatures above average. Again, this is the warm before the storm with 38 in Montpelier, 37 in Malad and McCammon, with 36 in Preston for a high. Lows tonight only into the 20s. Normally, for this time of the year, it gets awfully cold at night, especially if you have a clear sky. But with that cloud deck in play, we're only going to be into the 20s tonight, highs in the 30s. We're going to see similar conditions for central Idaho. Now, they're going to be a little bit cooler in Challis, not as much cloud cover up there. Same for Stanley, about 18 tonight in Challis, but a high of 41 for tomorrow, 45 in Salmon, with 38 in Idaho Falls, 44 for Pocatello, and 52 in Burley, with lows tonight back into the 20s and 30s. Here's your extended forecast. We'll go to Idaho Falls. Look for scattered snow showers here again for Sunday afternoon and Monday morning. But check out the drop off in those temperatures. We go from 35 on Sunday down to a high of 23 and down to about 17 on Tuesday, and then down to about 19 on Wednesday. So you can see the dropping temperatures here, tumbling highs in through the start of next week, with numbers actually starting to come back up on Thursday with more snow on the way. Pocatello, 40 degrees for Sunday, down to 27 on Monday and 20 for the high on Tuesday. But the numbers will start to climb back up into those 30s and 40s as another storm system tries to work in towards the later half of next week. Blackfoot, I got you at 36 for Sunday, mid-20s on Monday and a high of 18 for Tuesday, with highs in Rexburg seeing up, around 20 for Monday, down to 15 on Tuesday, and even some sub-zero overnight lows as we get into Monday night and Tuesday morning. Over to central Idaho, you'll have some spotty snow showers here for Sunday, but we'll pick up on some sunny, cold conditions for Monday and Tuesday, with highs hanging out into the lower 20s. And then for Jackson, Island Park, and far eastern Idaho, expecting to see some scattered snow showers here roaming across the region as we get into, again, the Sunday, Monday period, and then more snow on Wednesday through Thursday.
Always amazes me how we can drop 20 degrees.
Which is kind of
just like that.
I mean, whatever, yeah.
And it's actually pretty normal when you get a potent cold front in the wintertime. You get the storm, and then you clear out, and then you get those what we call severe clear days, or the cosmetic sunshine kind of days.
Pretty?
Yeah, pretty but cold. Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Good thing, only about 3 days.
That's it. And there's another wet weather wave coming in shortly right after, like on Wednesday. So we only have to really deal with the cold stuff like for 1.5 days here.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Michael. People living in Chubbuck are going to reach out and help one of their own after the heart-wrenching loss of one man's entire family.
Local News 8 reporter Linda Larson found out how hope is coming from tragedy.
She was the best of us. She just, a lot of people commented on the light that she would bring into a room.
Michael Farnes is talking about his daughter, Miana. He met me today at the Palace Playhouse, where their families shared their love for music and theater. Miana's life was tragically cut short 2 weeks ago. But let's go back 2 years, when a proud father sang to his daughter at her wedding.
That's why, daughter, it's incredible.
Miana and her husband, Caden, had spent just a year and a half together when they were getting ready to welcome their first baby. And then, things took a turn no one expected.
Daughter and her husband, Caden, had a baby, their first, that came 12 weeks early and unfortunately passed at 9.5 weeks at Primary Children's Hospital.
Making the loss even more unbearable, Miana found out she had a rare, aggressive form of cancer. She found out just 3 days before her baby died. She was then in a fight for her own life, spending 6 weeks at the Huntsman Cancer Center, a battle that she lost just 2 weeks ago.
After we got word that my daughter had gone into cardiac arrest, and on the way we heard that she had passed, and poor Caden, just the things he was saying through his sobs, just how his life was over. It just, he'd lost everything, but we're gonna get him on his feet. He'll survive this, but the love that we have felt from the community and this means of helping in others will be greatly appreciated.
Caden is now trying to recover not only from the devastating loss of his family, but the crushing debt that's left behind.
We want to help Caden. The emotional trauma is significant, but the financial trauma is something that we certainly hope to help with.
And a part of that help will come tomorrow night, when some of the community's best-loved performers will present Music for Miana. Everyone is encouraged to come, celebrate her life, and give what you can. In Chubbuck, I'm Linda Larson.
If you would like to attend Music for Miana, entrance to the show is free. It goes from 6 until 9 tomorrow night at the Palace Playhouse in Chubbuck. There will be raffles and silent auctions. If you cannot attend but would still like to donate, you can find a link to the GoFundMe page, Moving Miana's Mountains, on our website at localnews8.com. We'll be right back.
Now, Sportsline.
This Sunday, the Kansas City Chiefs will take on the San Francisco 49ers in Super Bowl 54, and grocery stores are geared up. The annual sports holiday brings together cheering fans and, of course, hungry appetites. Grocery stores around the area are stocked with Super Bowl foods and decorations, and whether you do cheer for the Chiefs or the Niners, everyone agrees there must be great food. Grocery stores like Brolam's tell us they always notice a rush of Super Bowl party shoppers.
With the amount of parties that go on, Super Bowl has oftentimes become almost like a holiday for a lot of people. And so people are stocking up, getting ready for their parties and all the people they have coming over to watch the game with.
Hallwig tells us that instead of rooting for the Chiefs or the Niners, he's actually cheering for his sister. She's the one preparing the food. One Texas city is preparing for the big game. As Hunter Davis reports, all the excitement stretches over 1,000 miles back to White House, Texas, the home of Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes.
A city that typically bleeds blue and silver.
My family are actually big Cowboys fans.
Is turning red and gold ahead of Super Bowl 54.
You have to support him because he's from here.
From t-shirts.
It has like just a bit of gold at the bottom and red at the top.
To drinks and signs lining the streets, everyone in White House, Texas is gearing up to cheer on Patrick Mahomes.
Did you get t-shirts? Yes.
Including his Aunt Shell, who was bragging about her nephew all over the city, even to those in line with her buying Mahomes gear.
He'll give 110%. Oh, for sure. More. Yeah. So that's why I'm not nervous.
Mahomes grew up in the small city outside of Tyler, Texas, where he was a Wildcat before becoming a Kansas City Chief.
What we have here are some different awards and gold footballs that we won Patrick's junior and senior year.
Only a few of many accolades won by the quarterback.
Patrick was a very competitive young man, probably one of the most competitive athletes that I've been around.
Something Coach Adam Cook says has carried him through his career and now straight to Hard Rock Stadium.
He got a vision at a young age of what he wanted to do and who he was, and right now he's living out that vision that he's had for a long time.
A vision Coach Cook will get to see play by play as he heads to Miami for Super Bowl Sunday.
I'm looking forward to when that boy runs out of that tunnel.
And the NFL MVP will have his entire home city behind him.
The whole town of White House loves you. Everybody loves you. Go Patrick.
And the support for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs will continue here at a watch party on Sunday.
And Jennifer Lopez and Shakira will be on stage for the halftime show. Both singers answered questions about the highly anticipated show. Lopez, who is originally from the Bronx, New York, and Shakira, who hails from Colombia, will be the first Latina duo to perform.
As a little girl, no one would have thought that I would end up performing at the Super Bowl one day. I think that J-Lo and I are here redefining paradigms about age, about race, about background.
I think it's about it's about hard work. I think, you know, like she said, being from Barranquilla, me being from the Bronx, the two of us could have never imagined that we would be playing at the Super Bowl one day. I know my mom and dad we were a football family. Every Sunday we'd watch.
And Mom and Dad are probably proud. You can watch the 49ers and the Chiefs battle it out Sunday at 4:30 on our sister station, Fox 5. We will be right back with a final look at your weekend forecast.
So we're expecting to get some snow here for Sunday, but we do get the snow here getting in here for Sunday afternoon and evening, which is right through the heart of your Super Bowl. But for tomorrow, we actually have the warm before the storm. So we have the foggy conditions tonight. We look at temperatures in the upper 30s, dropping temperatures next week.
Okay, there it is. That's kind of Super Bowl